you guys doing out there? My name is Kyle, and today we're going to be talking about the film Atomic Blonde, which is directed by David Leitch. The movie stars Charlize Theron as Lorraine Broughton, who is literally the ultimate badass of a spy. Extremely beautiful, but she can kill you with her pinky finger. And the movie takes place during the events of the Cold War, specifically around the time when the Berlin Wall is about to come down. There are riots in the streets, just craziness, full-on chaos is happening. Her character is sent into Berlin in order to retrieve a special list that if it falls into the wrong hands, it could be even more chaotic. I've been excited for this movie ever since the first trailer dropped, and a big reason for that is the director. David Leitch was one of the two filmmakers behind John Wick, a movie that I really enjoyed, but he has also been a stunt coordinator for action sequences, and he clearly loves the art of a great action scene. So genuinely, when he directed John Wick, he infused everything that he learned and everything that he taught into those action scenes, and they all look beautiful. There's no shaky cam, quick cut editing madness that is just running rampant in action movies these days that really pissed me off. In a way, we're very fortunate to have David Leitch behind the camera directing an action movie, and he once again proves that he is a master of action with Atomic Blonde. Charlize Theron is incredible in this movie. Extremely sexy, powerful, and just badass. She once again crafted a strong female character, especially after Furiosa and Mad Max Fury Road. I'm very happy she decided to take the role because not only is she very attractive, but if you look up the behind the scenes of this movie, you know she trained for months to learn all the moves so that she can do as much of the fighting as possible. And I'd say probably about 75 to 80% of the stunts were actually done by her. James McAvoy co-stars in this movie recently off the success of Split, which in my mind is his best performance, and he once again does a really good job in this movie. He is such a likable actor, and he has such a likable presence in basically any movie I've ever seen him in. I've always enjoyed his performances, and again, he was really fun. I really enjoyed his character. Also co-starring in this movie is Sofia Boutella, who plays a French spy, and I liked her performance despite the fact that I do think she was very underused. I'm sure everyone's talking about it, but it is true. That being said, though, she does have one scene with Charlize that was quite interesting. I think that might be the best way for me to describe it. It was intimate, it was shocking, and just incredible to watch, and I'm done. Now, I'm going to be completely honest with you guys, because that's what I do. I love honesty. Atomic Blonde, in my opinion, is one of the most beautiful looking movies I've seen, just ever. The use of neon imagery was perfect, and it just added to beautiful results. Every scene in the movie just felt alive, and I feel like this is a perfect segue into talking about the action. What I was most excited about, and I'm pretty sure what most of you guys were excited about. How is it? It's beautiful. It is so well shot. Every single action scene in this movie was just amazing to watch. Beautiful camera work, long takes, unedited sequences. I mean, this is what I love about action movies. You don't have to make 47 different cuts to show someone punching someone else in the face. David Leitch understands how to film a great action scene, and he used that to his advantage multiple times, including one specific fight that, in my mind, is one of the best fights I have ever witnessed on film. I'm pretty sure everyone has talked about this, but it is a stairwell battle, and it is just, it's a true marvel to watch. It's phenomenal. Like, I couldn't believe just how long the scene went, and I was in love with every single second of it. This is a beautifully directed movie with incredible imagery that just looks incredible in almost every single way. I have no problem with the movie technically. What I do have a problem with, and it's unfortunately my biggest issue with the movie, is its script. The story in the movie is trying to be way smarter than it really is, and at times it comes off very convoluted, and at other times it feels like it's ripping off other movies. When I thought about the straightforward plot about this list that's out in the open, and people are trying to get it, and they send in a spy who is literally their best person to go in and get it, I don't know about you guys, but that to me sounded a lot like the plot of the first Mission Impossible. I couldn't shake that feeling throughout almost the entirety of the movie. There's a lot of differences. A lot. but just that thing specifically felt like Mission Impossible to me. The movie is basically a recollection of Lorraine's thoughts. She is sitting in an interrogation room at the very beginning of it, telling this story. Now, this particular style reminded me of The Usual Suspects, one of my favorite movies of all time. That movie was primarily about Kevin Spacey sitting in an interrogation room discussing what happened to his crew, as well as the ship explosion that leads to that very moment. But the difference is, and I'm going to try my best not to spoil The Usual Suspects in case you haven't seen it, but when that movie ends, you think very differently about the rest of the movie. It's one of those films, like The Sixth Sense, that has a really cool twist that you think very differently on. But with Atomic Blonde, not only do you not get that kind of major twist where a huge revelation happens, this made a lot of the events that happen in the movie a bit tensionless, because in a lot of ways you know how they're going to play out. You know that she's going to be absolutely fine. And at the same time, I think all of these scenes affected the movie's pacing, which I do think is another problem. The movie definitely felt long. I know the film was only like an hour and 50 minutes, but I'm telling you guys, it felt like it was well over 2. I don't think the second half of the movie was paced that well. I think the first half was just tight. But the second half, as more twists and turns got revealed, it just began to drag for me, because so many of these twists and turns just come out of nowhere, and you're questioning what's going on, or why did this character do a complete 180? It's never properly explained. Now, we know the 80s was a great decade for a lot of reasons, but one of them is, of course, for the music. So, of course, they're going to infuse a lot of 80s music into this movie to create one colossal soundtrack. With this movie, however, there is an overabundance of music, to the point where it actually started to annoy me after a while. I don't think you could go 2 minutes without hearing a famous song from that decade. And there is an editing choice, I think about midway through, where they decide to speed up a shot for no reason. And for me, it not only caught me off guard, but I was just sitting there thinking, well, that was awkward. Now, I would still recommend you go see this, because it was still a blast to watch. I had a lot of fun with this movie. It was a good film. I don't think it was a great one, and I think what really bogged it down was its script and the fact that it felt very similar. But really, guys, I think the biggest issue with this movie could have been solved with just hiring a better screenwriter. There is, of course, the overabundance of music and that awkward editing choice, but the movie as a whole is definitely solid. And it's a movie that, if you are a diehard action fan, you gotta go see this movie. You gotta support it, because the action is directed so well, like I said before. Charlize Theron is amazing in the movie. James McAvoy is really good. I enjoyed the movie, guys. I'm going to give Atomic Blonde a B. So guys, what did you think about the film Atomic Blonde? I'd love to hear all your comments, so send them down in the comment section below. Guys, thank you so much as always for watching my reviews. Look forward to my review of The Big Sick. Hopefully that's coming tomorrow. And then I will go and see Detroit. I am very intrigued to see that movie. I can't really say excited, but I'm intrigued because it looks incredible. Also, there is going to be a special re-release of the film Unforgiven coming this Sunday. And I actually just booked my tickets to go because it celebrates its 25th anniversary. So I'm going to go see the film, and I really think I'm going to review it to make like a special anniversary review. And I'm also thinking about reviewing the 2 other films that I actually saw in theaters last year that I did not have time to review. Those films are Thelma and Louise and The Shining. And The Shining would actually be interesting because Stephen King's movie It is coming out. So I might do that, I might not, but anyways, look forward for my reviews of The Big Sick and Detroit coming soon. Thank you so much as always, and stay tuned.